What is the fastest way to $1,000 for a brand new Etsy shop? We're going to talk about the product mix and what product you absolutely need in your first month on Etsy. Then we're going to talk about the lifetime value of your customer and how to set up the right categories in your shop from day one. And then we're going to talk about optimization of your shop and your listings. And lastly, there will be a bonus that is focused on traffic. So how do you actually get that traffic that will convert? Before we start, please leave a comment and let me know how long it took you to get to your first $1,000 in revenue on Etsy. I would love to hear. Was it a week? Was it a year? Let me know. This does not start with your SEO. This does not start with your pricing. This starts with your product and your customer, because you could have the perfect SEO and the perfect pricing strategy. But if you have a trash product, you won't get any sales. And if you don't get any sales because your product is bad, that is going to subsequently lead to low traffic. Low sales and a low conversion rate is going to push you back in search results. What is the right customer and the right product mix to lead with to get that first $1,000 in 30 days? It is loss leaders. If you're not sure what loss leaders are, they are low price point, low margin items. You're not going to lose money on them, but maybe you're breaking even or making like $1 per transaction. The entire purpose of this is to scale your order number under your shop name really high, really fast. So this isn't going to pay your mortgage. This isn't going to buy you a new car. The whole purpose of this is just order velocity. So it needs to have mass appeal. It's not customized, takes hardly any time. And what this will do is it will elevate the ranking of your other listings when you have a high order velocity on those listings. So step one is incorporating 10 low price point loss leaders and 10 higher price point loss leaders on day one. What are examples of loss leaders? Okay, it could be stickers, right? It could be a digital download. Digital products can make great loss leaders. It could be supplies, right? There's so many different types of loss leaders. They are one of the 7 types of products in our 7 types of products framework that we give you when you're one of our students. And what we can do is actually go into your shop and identify exactly what those would be. So if you need loss leader ideas, I get that question multiple times a week. I'm constantly giving people specific loss leader ideas for their shop. Anyways, you're going to need 10 low price point, and I would actually do 10 higher price point as well. Now, step number 2, it has to do with your product mix, but it's the categories. I highly recommend that you combine categories. Now, that means not just having a digital shop, not just having a print on demand shop, not just having a handmade shop or a supply shop or a vintage shop, but actually combining categories. One of my students, Kelsey, she did this very successfully. Now, she is a prime example of combining categories. She combines vintage and print on demand. Why would we combine categories? What is the reason for this? Because print on demand, to hit $1,000 in your first 30 days by itself, it's going to require really good designs or designs that are heavily based around something that is popular or trending or event based. And it will likely mean that you were early in the game and that trend or event will pass at some point. I really like print on demand, handmade, and supplies in the same category myself because it allows you to serve one customer in many ways. You might think, how do I make that work? Okay, for example, you could have print on demand sweatshirts and mugs and handmade gift boxes and stickers and hats and jewelry and supplies, all highly curated in the same shop. I have students that do this extremely successfully. One of my students did this and she went from $350. She checked her stats the last 30 days since enrollment and she hit $3,000 less than 45 days after she started working with us and applying the strategies. She is now doing significantly more than that. Now, if you're like, I don't want to combine categories, my category recommendation would be going all in on something like digital that have really high utility products. And, these are where your products are actually better than the alternative and they're actually providing value. So not like, some grocery checklist or, a digital planner or a meal tracker, but I'm talking like spreadsheets that 90% of the population could not figure out how to make themselves. That's just one example. As you can see from my interview with Ann Leese, who does this, she made $25,000 a month within 6 months of joining our program doing that.
We have really low point prices, loss leaders, right? We looked at the market and we saw that a lot of people are really interested in specific kind of spreadsheets. Then we have higher price point items. Some of them have like very specific purposes like loss leaders and others have other purposes. So at the end of the month, that's how I believe we can reach such high revenues.
Step number 3 is we're going to optimize from day one. We have students who get sales within hours of posting a listing. It does not have to take a month for Etsy to learn about your listing. Actually, you get a little boost within the first few hours of posting a listing. That is what Etsy tells us. Here's an example of a student. She says, brand new to the Etsy game, my shop has been open for less than 48 hours and I made my first sale. Now, this is because she started with optimized listings. Another student used a specific strategy and she says it worked within a few hours. We want to optimize from day one, and that doesn't mean having a good title. It's so much more than that. So we want to do optimization for mobile and desktop. We want to do site merchandising, so that increases multi-item orders in your LTV. We want to have high converting descriptions and photos that leave no question unanswered. And we want to have the right branding and visual merchandising throughout. Lastly, we need to have a compelling value proposition, which is how you will win in search results. It's that combination of your listing photo and your price. So to recap, the process to get to $1,000 in 30 days on Etsy is number 1, front loading with loss leaders, both high ticket and low ticket. Number 2, combining categories for faster growth, because that will lead to the most multi-item orders and the highest LTV. And we want to optimize your listings from day one. And I did promise a bonus at the end, and this is absolutely necessary if you want to get to $1,000 in your first 30 days. And that is driving external traffic. You have to force some sales. Now, we are not paying for ads. This is organic traffic. This means getting your product right in front of the noses of those warm leads. Let me give you an analogy. Let's say people are hungry. Well, putting an apple pie in front of them, that's not enough. We have to put that apple pie in front of people who are apple pie connoisseurs, right? People who love apple pie. That is what we do with social media. We don't just get your product out there in front of as many people as possible. We want to get your product in front of the right prospective customers, people who are warm leads. And that is why when you do this correctly, you'll see both traffic increase and conversion rate increase, because it's not just more people, it's getting in front of more of the right people. And I would focus on primarily Facebook and Pinterest if you are looking to just pick a couple of social media platforms. If you have any questions about those strategies or you'd like to learn more about our one-on-one coaching, just schedule a free call with the link below, and we are happy to talk you through this, to show you thousands of Etsy sellers who are doing the exact same thing. You can actually see their stats, and we even have sellers that you can reach out and talk to about their experience with these strategies. Please subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
After I joined the program, I gained so much clarity. Dylan is a wealth of knowledge and she shares all of her secrets with you. That coaching aspect of it, you can't get that through reading or watching videos.